Have anybody noticed that they've had a pattern of choosing the wrong person more than one time? Raise your hand. Guess what? Notes to self might say this. Notes to self might say, you know, when you say, well, what kind of guy you like? I like somebody who's nice and Christian, but I do like a little edge. I like a little bad boy. Notes to self would say, bad boys can be good in bed, but not necessarily conversation-wise. Not all of them. Bad boys, sometimes when they are taking advantage of me, will drive me to work and keep my car to go visit the side chick and get a note to self. How have you forgotten? How have you forgotten? You remember the trauma, you remember the breakup, but you can't remember the incidents that you still forgave. The incidents, because guess what? What overrode you was what was happening wherever it was happening. The good times, forget that. What I am saying to you all, we have to stop. What are some other things that we have to do? Specifically what we have to see is write down what's reasonable and what's not. You've learned your lesson, some of you all. What's reasonable? You say, love, am I asking too much? I want this, this, this. Yeah, I know your list includes we must walk on water. No, Let's look at some notes to self about what's reasonable and what's not. What's reasonable? See, I'm not going to tell you your standards are too high. Your standards are not too high. I'm not going to tell you that you're asking too much. What I'm going to tell you is you're asking the wrong thing. You're asking the wrong thing. When you ask, note to self, when you ask somebody else to make you happy, you're asking the wrong thing. The truth of the matter is, the happiness studies show, the research shows, it is a 50, 40, 10 thing. 50% of your happiness will be based off of your DNA, the stuff that Dr. Anita talked about. Get the sermon if you weren't here. 50% will be about your epigenetics. 40% will be about the traumas you have suffered since you've been here. And only 10% will be about what's happening right now. We think 100% will rest on a relationship. But you've got to get the 50% in order. You've got to work on that. You've got to work on the 40%. And then the 10% is what you know that you need to set some notes to self in order to manage. The second thing, make me feel good about myself. What's unreasonable? Make me feel good about myself. The thing about that is this: trauma distorts how you see yourself. Therefore, you cannot get somebody else externally to do something that you are supposed to already be doing internally. What's another note to self? It is an unreasonable expectation for somebody to fix your life. You cannot ask broken people to fix you. They got a full-time job working on themselves if they will work on themselves. But your responsibility between you and God is to work on you. And then another one, every morning new fireworks I see. I didn't say new mercies, I said new fireworks I see. The thought that every day will be passionate love is not a reasonable expectation. I've been married for 40 years, you all. It's not a reasonable expectation. And let me tell you something, love is a decision. So I made a decision to love my husband. It was liking him that was the challenge. Thank God I still like him. But let me tell you all something. First of all, when you first meet somebody, it is a chemicals like oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine. Those are feel-good chemicals that are released inside of you that make your palms sweaty. You think about that person all day. You feel all good inside when you think about it. Baby, you on drugs, okay? But those drugs wear off within 6 months, and you will still be chasing your first high. Because love goes from passionate love to compassionate love. Compassionate love. Can you handle that? Can your love cover compassion? Compassion for somebody who is 5'8". Compassion for somebody who makes under 6 figures. Compassion for somebody who works hard, will work 2 jobs, but still might be living at home. See, let me tell you something. Your love may not cover that. But please know this. The average height in America of men is not your tall, dark, and handsome. It's 5'8". 5'8". Everybody say, I'm looking for my Boaz. Guess what? Ruth was 40 and Boaz was 80. Good luck finding your Boaz. Y'all still want Boaz? Come on, Boaz. The next thing that's unreasonable is give me significance. First of all, do you realize the statistics on that is the number 80-20? The only thing that your mate is supposed to bring into the relationship to enhance it is the 20%. You're supposed to bring the 80. 80, you walk in with a gift. Look at my 80, baby. He brought in with his 80 that he has done on himself. And he said, well, you know what? You got all this, you got this, you got this. Internally, externally, whatever, I will enhance it with 20%. We think that they're supposed to bring the 80 and we're supposed to bring the 20. That's unreasonable. What can you expect? I've already talked to y'all of what you can't expect. What should you be able to expect? You should expect, note to self, I should be able to expect someone not to destroy what I have built a lifetime building. Do not send Wreck-It Ralph to me to topple down my self-esteem, to topple down my finances, to take a wrecking ball at my motivation, to take a wrecking ball at my mental health. Don't send Wreck-It Ralph to my life. And vice versa. Wreck-It Rachel. To diligently, what else should you be able to expect? To diligently do your work and support me in doing mine. Don't stop me from my growth. Don't compete with my growth. Support me. I'm not asking you to be my therapist. I'm not asking you to be my savior. I'm simply asking you to support me as I grow and be patient, and vice versa. What's reasonable? To see me as a spouse and not your savior. I am not here to save your money. I am not here to save your addiction. I am not entered into any codependent relationships. But you will enter into a codependent relationship with somebody who needs you if you don't believe you have the glue to keep somebody who will want you. What else should I expect? I should be able to expect that you have good character, that you're not a serial cheater, You're not a ghoster wasting my time. You're not a breadcrumber. You're not a faking the success and Instagramming it. You are not a liar. You are not a narcissist. You have compassion. You have goodness. You are godly. I should be able to. We should be able to mutually expect that.